If I traded it all, if I...
All right, welcome back, everyone. My next guest has never been on my show before. I have with me Derek Longstaff, and he is the owner of Certified Environmental Services. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Carol.
Tell us
Glad
a
to be
little bit.
here.
Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what Certified Environmental Services is.
Well, I'm a service-disabled veteran. I started the company, 25 years ago, and we do environmental inspections. We do property inspections. We do indoor air quality, which is a very big thing here. People don't seem to think that Phoenix is the place for bad air, but it is inside the houses. Seen a lot of sick people. And we work with another phenomena that we have. There's what they call a Category 5 injection well, and there's only located in 2 states, Washington State and Arizona. And what they do is they allow people to put really dirty water down into drinking water levels, and we work very hard on that.
Wow. So are you both residential and commercial?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you're valley-wide,
Right.
right?
Well, statewide.
Statewide. And what do you do when you say that? I want to talk a little bit about this. You've been doing this how long, you said?
25 years.
25
well,
years.
26 now. I
Okay,
guess.
26 years. For a home, a typical home in Arizona, what are some of the issues that you find when you come out there and do that?
Well, usually when I'm asked to go into a home, like I just did one very recently, a very high upscale apartment complex. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollar house apartments. This unit, the lady lives out of state, and she comes here for the good time of the year, and she was getting sick just about every time she turned around. She had to leave early the last time that she was in Arizona. So we went in to find out what the problem is.
And what was the problem?
Well, the problem in her case was different than something I find, and I find something new every time. It wasn't mold like a lot of people. She was afraid it was mold. It turned out that the building, because it was so brand new, had a large amount of debris, and the debris was settling in on top of her fans that she had all throughout the house or the apartment, and she hadn't even thought about that. And the newness of the building, the newness of all her linens, her beautiful materials that she had unbelievable architecture, that dust had settled, and every time she came there, turned everything on, she was getting her lungs filled up with debris.
Now, when you go into a house or an apartment or wherever you go, is it you come in and inspect it?
Yeah, then we do sampling. We find out is there a problem and what is it?
And then when there is something, you find something, who takes care of that? Do you?
Well, what we do is we give people ideas of how they can get rid of the problems. A lot of times the problems aren't that difficult to get rid of, but they have to do something right away because people get really, really sick with this.
Right. So, and of course, we all know that Arizona is extremely dusty just to begin with.
Yeah, there's the other thing, like the lady thought she had mold in her house. We have more mold inside homes here than you do elsewhere, and you wouldn't think of that. But the moisture gets captured inside the captured air inside the apartments or house.
Go ahead.
Get sick.
Does it matter when you come? You said this was a relatively new building that you went into.
Right.
When somebody has an older place, does it really matter? Is it better to do it before a house is built? When is the optimum time to call you?
It's almost any time's a good time to do it. You catch it and find out what it is your particular house has. If it's an older house, it can have older problems, which are different from a brand new house. Recently remodeled, they could have opened up walls and brought mold to the surface they never knew about. So it varies.
And does it usually, when somebody calls you, it's because they've been sick, they can't get rid of
Right.
it. It's that. And how do they think of calling? I'm going to call Certified Environmental Services. How do they think about that?
It's really strange. We get the phone calls at least 2 or 3 times a week. And what it's about is they tell us the problems that they have. A lot of them are in apartments, and we have to tell them that in case they're there, they have to go talk to the owner to give them permission, owner of the apartment's permission to look at them.
Sure.
But if they call us and it's their apartment, or their house rather, we can go over there and look at it. And we have ways of testing and looking for it. And of course, I've been doing this for quite a few years. We can find out what the problems are, then we give them options and solutions.
So,
I have actually recommended people leave the house immediately.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. So sometimes people have that bad of an issue.
Yep.
And usually the issue is, like you said, mold?
The bad ones, yes, it's mold.
Wow. So they are statewide. You can check them out on their website. It's CESAZ for Certified Environmental Services, AZ.com. You can also call them. Write this number down, because you know what? You're going to get sick again, and you're going to finally say to yourself, I don't know why I'm getting sick. I better call Certified Environmental Services. That phone number is 602-230-1471. And again, it's CESAZ.com. All right. Let's talk about drywall.
Dry wells.
I mean, drywall. I said drywall.
Right. I know.
thought it was
It's dry wells.
What is drywell?
There you
What's the difference?
Well, they're a problem. They're these things that they drilled holes in the ground to keep the water in the parking lot from pooling up. So when the ladies got out of the car, they wouldn't be wading through water. The water would go down in the
Now
ground.
our phones fall through them, right?
Yeah.
And we hate that when that happens.
That's
Go ahead.
right. And what happens there is that there's contamination that occurs. People spill things or things happen. Well, no one's sitting there telling you that you can't let that junk go down the dry well. They don't think about it. And when we find out that it's there and it's really bad, it can cost the owner of the property over $100,000 to clean it up.
Wow. So that's I've seen a lot of those. They're definitely in almost every single parking lot that you're
There
in.
you go. Right.
And so they get dirty and nobody cleans them.
Yep, that's what
And do you clean them, or do you then tell
Yeah.
them they need to be cleaned?
No, we do. We have confined space people that work for us and new equipment and everything. So we go out and do it for the people.
What other issues do you see with dry wells and stormwater?
Well, we got a new one coming on. It's called Zika,
What is that?
a little nasty disease that is captured by mosquitoes, and they are coming to Arizona. By the way, we're next to Florida. We're the most probable
I've
state.
seen a lot of them.
Yep, mosquitoes are really bad, but Zika is the virus that's on the mosquito that can make you very sick, and that's the big thing they've been talking about in Brazil about the big upcoming events that are going to be there. People have actually decided they didn't want to go down there and compete. Now, what happens is if the dry well is dirty, contaminated at the bottom with debris and junk over a period of time, not having been cleaned out, water, just landscape water, like at schools, the water running off the grass goes into the dry well, you have a stagnant water. Mosquitoes carry Zika. They love stagnant water. We have lifted lids off of the dry wells, and a black cloud will come right out of there, and it'll be nothing but mosquitoes.
How long does it take for a mosquito to get attracted to water that's sitting? Because we've got the monsoons coming up, and that water sits sometimes for a while. How long does it take?
A very short time, very short time.
Wow.
We're talking days, not weeks.
Wow. So everybody, you got to really watch out. That you can help people statewide, you said. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can call him. His number is 602-230-1471. What are your final words? What do you want to say before anything you're missing?
No, I think the thing to do is when it comes to both the mold and the dry wells and contamination, think about what you've got. Look at your own situation. And if you don't have good drainage on a dry well, you're going to have mosquitoes. And if you have moisture captured, will capture the mold inside the house. You have constant water in a certain area in the house. That's a problem.
Tell you what, guys, if you're dealing with something and you've been sick for a long time, this is just another avenue. Have them call them and have them check it out. They are both residential and commercial. They're statewide. Their phone number is 602-230-1471. That website is CESAZ.com.